Beast Alaska. I promised y'all, I know it's been a few months, that we would show you the end result of our gym setup. Unfortunately, because as you've seen in one of our videos, one of our workout areas collapsed. We're still in the process of putting it up. We're going to give you a quick run around, and maybe at some later point when it's all done, we'll give you a full video. But right now, we're just going to give you a rundown of what we've done so far and how we've advanced in our gym. First of all, we're going to start with something Gus and I made. It's basically our modified version of the Hummer tire deadlift. So what we did is we took 16-inch tires and then we bolted in 3 different areas a 10-pound weight plate, so this way we could slide our bar in and out of the hole there. This is kind of the end result here, and basically made it so the inner side of this, the inside of this, we can stack weights in here. Right now we have it a little backwards, so if we were just doing some warm-up sets, this is kind of what we would start with. But when we flip the tires around, we can load it with weights. We have 4 tires, equaling about 280 pounds when fully loaded with the 4 tires. Then we can add weight as we want. Gus right now is around close to 500 pounds in his deadlift, and I'm about 435-ish. So we couldn't get a bar long enough to continually add tires, so we had to make it so we could add weight. So onto our next little gadget, and I'm gonna let that tire fall. This is our yoke, and this as you know, is like for not only moving weight, but it's one of the big things in strongman. Gus, you want to explain a little bit about this yoke, who makes it, and how you use it in your workouts?
Yeah, so this yoke is made by Rogue Fitness, and it weighs approximately 200 pounds, and we use it in like carrying medleys to load it up about probably over double or triple your body weight as the angle, and then carry it for about 50 or 60 feet.
Awesome. We'll move on to the tires. We only have a 500-pound tire, and right now our 600-pound tire is holding down our tent or our shelter until we can get some blocks of concrete and stuff to hold it down. The winds in Alaska will blow through here, and this will be in our neighbor's yard. So right now our 600-pound tire is kind of holding things down. I'm going to move this dolly out of the way because unfortunately some of the things we have are very difficult to move around because they're so heavy. I can't move it around, Gus can. Gus, you want to explain briefly about the stones and how you made them?
Yeah, so we have our collection of Atlas stones here going from 95 to 250 pounds. They are made by putting concrete in a stone mold, letting them sit for a few days, and then after they are done and solidified, then we go and take the molds off the stones and shave them down, make them all nice and smooth. Eventually there'll be a finer finish with tacky, so they're a little stickier without having to use too much extra.
Where'd you get your molds from?
My molds came from, I got them on Amazon, but they're from Hybrid Athletics, and they go up to 300 pounds for their molds, and then you just have to buy the concrete yourself.
And hopefully we'll have a video. We do want to make a 300-pound ball. Hopefully we'll have a video that shows you how to make these. It's pretty simple. It just takes a lot of patience, and they actually turned out really nice. So, as you can tell, it's a little different day. Apparently some of the footage we shot about the home gym disappeared. Apparently my camera has a shut-off button that after you record so long it shuts off. So we're going to start with the stone, I guess, rack. Let Gus explain it to you, and then we'll move on from there.
Yeah, so this is our stone rack. It's homemade. Did a lot of time and research, at least my dad did here, on how to build one and what are competition heights. Competition height, it's as close as it's gonna get. We're not 100% sure, but hopefully made it a little bit taller just to make it easier when we actually get to that point. The stone rack here, it's got 5 spots on here, and each pad on top has a hole cut in it, so the stone will rest in here nicely. Here on the bottom, we can roll the stones in, make it all nice and neat in storage. We're kind of out here in the open just because it's kind of our outside garage gym is, or our outdoor gym is a little bit of a mess at the moment. But yeah, this is our stone rack.
And that's it. So I'm bringing it over to our sled.
Yeah, this is the Rogue Dog sled. I think it's the version 2, but this sled weighs in about 200 pounds. You can load it up with about 6 bumper plates, and then if you use competition plates, you can get a whole ton more weight on here. The best feature about this is right here, this bar can put a carabiner on here, and you don't have to move the sled. It actually moves around the bar here. So once you get done with your set here, you just walk around the sled, and then boom, you can go the other way, and that way you're not spending a ton of effort trying to move around maybe 400 or 500 pounds worth on this sled that you may have racked up. Yeah, dog sled.
And that's pretty much it. We have a heater for the winter time. It pretty much heats this whole thing, so that's it. We move on to the inside to show you the rest of the gym. Videos. This is Molly, the diabetic dog. And this is Luna, the cartoon doggy. She's like a big cartoon dog. She's very cuddly. This is Gus's dog. Mine's not out here because it's really mean. It eats our other doggies. But enough on the dogs. This here, oh, and the little one was Bex. Sexy Bexy. This is our treadmill. It kind of helps us get warmed up. Not much to say on it, but that's kind of how we get warmed up. We also have 2 spin bikes over here that help us get warmed up. And then we have.
It looks like it's also a bar holder.
Yeah, it looks like it's also a bar holder.
Holds our farmer handles so that they're easy to access.
You want to kind of explain your farmer carry bales?
So we have farmer handles, again made by Rogue Fitness. These are about 20 pounds each. You can load them up with however many plates you want on here. We mainly use bumper plates so that we can use these outside and no wear or tear will come to the plates. We don't want to chip our metal competition ones. We'll just use rubber bumper plates.
So this here is our goals that we're trying to set for Gus. It's normally hanging on the garage door, but for whatever reason they fell off when we were moving things around. But these kind of just help set our goals. I think it's important that anytime you're trying to compete or do something, you need to set goals, and you got to have them You got to have them up so you can see them. These are our goals there. We also have up on the board our workouts, so everybody knows what the workout is for that week. So we change it according to what we're doing. Moving on. We also have here a punching bag again, warming up. This is kind of like our warm-up area. And then we also have our chalk bowl, which is really nice. We found a chalk, I can't remember what it's called, but it seems to last quite a bit longer than most chalks. Maybe in a later video we'll show what that is. You remember what it's called?
I don't.
So,
It has a gorilla on the front of it.
Yeah, it has a gorilla.
It's rock climbing chalk.
But it is really sticky, it really helps. It lasts quite a bit longer. And we'll get you that name. I'll put it down in this description. This here, like I said, is just a bag, punching bag, and a big bag to kind of get a 15-minute like warm up, so you get a good sweat on. Explain those.
We have Strongman throw bags. Right now they are filled with rubber mulch. They weigh about 20-25 pounds a piece at the moment. And then as we get stronger, we progress up in our weights and training. We fill these with sand so they get heavier. Again, made by Rogue. And they're very neat. They unzip here and they have a Velcro on the inside so you don't lose anything.
here we just have a bunch of random belts from, we like Brian Chong, we like to try to support him, so this is his stuff from Evolution Athletics. We just have a bunch of belts that we really like for our lifting. This is just a Bowflex bench. We realized that during some of our workouts, we just don't have enough benches. So we had to buy an extra bench. It's not as good as the Rogue, but it suits its needs on a as needed basis. And I'm gonna move these so Gus can explain our sandbags.
Cool. We have Cerberus sandbags. We have weights of 95 to 220 pounds. This is what I was talking about. Yeah, we have sandbags go 95 to 220 pounds. We just have 4 of them sitting there. They're filled with just regular old traction sand or anything you can get at Home Depot. Again, really cool about these is that will keep all your stuff in. Velcro on the top here, that's pretty tough. And then again, you zip these open, you can add as much sand in here as you want. Obviously there is a capacity, another Velcro thing on the inside here to keep all your sand in. There is a capacity on these, depending on which size you get. But this is to help, again, with strongman, loading and carrying medleys, and holds to increase your core strength.
The doggy right now is mad because we're not giving her any attention. So again, like I explained earlier, some of our video got cut off with the camera. So we finished with the sandbags. Back here, we just have a bunch of attachments, sleeves, support gear. These, you know, what are these called?
Foam pads.
Foam pads for our natural squats. Miska!
Miska, get over here.
Our doggy's trying to escape. So that's what this is. We'll move on to the big feature in the gym, and that is the Rogue Monster Rack. So I'm gonna let Gus explain that to you, and the weights and all that fun stuff.
Cool. Yeah, this is the Rogue Monster Rack. Right here on the side we have 4 different pegs for plates here. You can always buy more pegs for weights. I think they hold a good amount of weight here. We have 745s on each side, and then we have some 55s down here. Went with the competition style plate because I could get more for essentially less. They're a little harder to use, especially when you drop them flat on the ground. You have to have a lot of finger strength to get them up. Here in this rack we have these monster safeties. That way, you know, you're safe and protected. You set them at any height you want, all the way up and down this rack. You can work overhead, you can work deadlifts off rack pulls, and all that. Here we have the Rogue monoliths. These are just a cheaper version of an actual hydraulic monolift. They work really well when you put the bar on. They're out here, so you can just squat up and then these will retract. You can do your squat and then kind of fall back into them, and they'll go back to a neutral position. The best thing I like about this monster rack is that it's a lot in one. In this monster rack, you can get various sorts of attachments. We chose to go with the plate load pulley setup. Right here, you can set your plate load at any height, and then it is attached by a resistance band for stabilization. And then you can hook up. Right here, we just have it off to the side. You just hook into this. And then you can do any sort of pulley exercise you want up front. And then you have another set of pulleys down here. And then you can do cable rows or any sort of variation up and down here. Then you have adjustments right here where you can make this part as long as you want it or as short as you want to, just hook straight to the plate. But as far as that goes, this is Monster Rack, and it is by far one of my favorite equipment racks I've ever seen. Super sturdy, and it makes you feel real safe when you're inside it. Some good thick steel and built very soundly.
And on the front we have J-cups that we use for push presses, overhead presses. We also use this as a incline-decline area for bench. Very multi-purpose. You have some pull-up bars there. And the best part about this is Gus didn't die setting it up. When he was putting up the Rogue logo up there. He fell off the ladder about 4 or 5 feet off the ground and flat on his back. So luckily he didn't break anything. The next feature is this. Oh, sorry, doggy. Sorry, buddy. The next feature is the safety squat bar, and I'll let Gus explain that.
Safety squat bar here. This allows you to squat safer because it actually goes around your neck, and then you have the handles you can hold it up front. Instead of with your regular bar, you have to grip way out on the sides, and it kind of puts your shoulders at a bad angle if you're not as mobile, or if you're not willing to want to injure yourself like that. This bar here weighs 70 pounds, so it makes adding up plates a little difficult when you remember your bar is 70 pounds and not 45. Makes your gym math just a tad hard. We use the resistance band pegs to hold this up here because it's kind of an awkward shape and it doesn't really fit anywhere in the gym very well aside from in here or on some sort of J cup that we have sitting around this gym. So best home for it. Downside to having it up here when you're lifting heavy weights on the front is if you rack too hard, it will topple off and potentially hurt someone. So keep that in mind if you ever decide you want to do that.
Okay, we're gonna move on, and we'll see you in a minute.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back. We left off at the safety squat bar. Now we're moving on to these little dumbbells. See these little dumbbells? They go right here.
I am recording,
I know.
All right, guys, we had a small equipment malfunction. The battery died. So we left off the safety squat bar. So next we're gonna go to our log. And Gus, go ahead and explain to our log to us.
So right here, our log, it is also made by Rogue, pretty much different. It weighs 72 pounds, and we use it for log clean and press and some other various log variations to work your triceps, your chest, kind of whatever you want to do with it.
And the funny thing is we have it on these. We have it stuck in these 55 pound. What are they? Loadable
dumbbell bumper plates or something.
And the reason why is because it's still a lot of weight to be able to push. So we just use it for a stand right now. These. Go ahead, Gus.
So these go on our loadable dumbbells here. These are a much more cost-effective option, although they are a bigger pain to load. We have our loadable dumbbell here is 15 pounds. As you can see, 45 pounds there, and it will go on this right here. You put a collar on the outside of this. With both of those on, totaling about 105 pounds, and then go from there. You can get up to 120, 85, 65, and then you put 10s and 2.5s and so on and so forth. It just makes it a lot of extra work, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do to make it work.
And we're also limited in space. This here is just a trap bar. We use it for some deadlifts. We also have, we watched Brian Shaw use this for some overhead presses. That's a little more effective way to do that. But since we got the log, we kind of substituted the trap bar, and we do our overhead presses with the log instead of the trap bar. Well, we still use it quite a bit. We just had some odds and ends here, but this is kind of an interesting piece here. Gus, go ahead.
So this is the back widow, and as you can look here, there's all these knobs. You can change the setting of the handles to go any which way you want it, really. And then you have these ones up here. You can change how wide you want to go with this. So you can go narrow to medium to ultra wide, and then you can do kind of whatever you want here with the handles. You can use it for lat pull downs, T-bar rows, one arm T-bar rows if you want. Anything you can really imagine to do with. You do biking press. It can slide onto a barbell here, or you can put the barbell right on this. You have a cable attachment here, and yeah, grip keys on the handles as well. Pretty versatile attachment. Probably one of my more favorite attachments here in the gym, or that I've even seen in a regular gym.
Next we have just Gus wasn't sure about the crash pads, so we have a plethora of crash pads. We thought we ordered 4, we ended up with 8. Apparently 1 means pair, not 1. So if you're ordering Rogue crash pads, keep that in mind. That one means 1 set, not 1.
Just make sure you know how to read.
The other thing is we like our variation of our chains. We use this a lot with deadlifts and squats. It adds a little extra something. We also use it for bench press and incline press. We haven't used them in a while, but they did help increase a lot of strength. There's not a ton here. We're gonna buy more chains, but our workouts changed, so. But they're still good. They're still good to use with variations to kind of give you just a change. Come this way. We have more straps here. We also have a bunch of bands during our deload. There is times we increase the reps and use belts. We kind of get away from the weights. We just use, I mean, not belts, bands. So this is a great variation. And then we have a bunch of other belts and stuff like that. What did we get? About 6,000 pounds of weights?
It's about 6,000 total was the shipment plates, and 4 or 6 25-pound bumper plates. Not a lot of 35-pound plates in here in this gym, as I mean, don't really use a ton of 35s. You can just do a 25 and a 10, and it's close enough. And that way we're able to get in some more 45s, so you save up some space.
And now we're gonna go ahead and go this way, and we'll have Gus explain the bench.
So we have the it is the West Side bench made by Rogue. As you can see, it has all these pinholes here, so you can put these at any height you like, and you can add on extra pegs. You can do, the crash pads are kind of blocking it, but you can add on band resistance over here, and you can put it on either side. This piece isn't really 100% necessary. If we did some more research before the order, probably wouldn't have made it, and something else would have taken its place. But it is very nice to have this dedicated for benching and overhead type variations when you have people who are doing different exercises on the same day as you, taking over the squat rack, and it's nice to have this here for that.
Yeah, well, in hindsight, we could have used our yoke for some of the variations that we do with this, but at some point, if we figure out a way to make more room, we do want to put a hyper in the gym. Mm-hmm. These are really super cool. Our next couple things are just weights, but we don't use them a ton, but they're really nice for using it with our axle bar for overhead, for the axle bar lift. They make a nice addition. And then
we have the 70-pound ones here. They're very good to use for like 13-inch deadlifts, or if you're doing, or you can elevate these up and get to 18 inches to give you a different type of deadlift variation. Main reason for these really is just because they look cool. And I mean, I saw Brian Shaw use them and said, I have to have these.
And if you notice on our setup video, the picture of Gus and I posing, that is with those. And these here, the wagon wheels, are 45 pounds each. Put that back. And then here, this is just a rack. We don't have enough room for a rack for everything. So we just bought this from Home Depot, and it holds all our extra bars, our multiple dumbbells. It also holds a lot of our sleeves, so this way, you know, we have our sleeves. We have we have a medicine ball, a curl bar. I mean, there's all kinds of, this here I love. I'm gonna have Gus explain this, but this is one of our favorite pieces here.
Yeah, this is a multi-grip lat pull-down attachment. It's very nice because you can do a neutral grip here, and you can do close, medium, and extra wide if you want. You can kind of play in your variations, so it's never the same thing every week. And you have actual like adjustments here where you can physically see where you got to put your hands instead of guessing on a flat bar all the way across. So it makes it nice to keep yourself nice and even, and you're always gonna put your hands in the same place every single time. Probably one of my other favorite attachments we have here.
It's very multiple. It has multiple uses, and it also saved us space because it replaced a lot of things that we would otherwise had to purchase. And I think, for the most part, that sums up the tour of the gym. It's always a work in progress. We're doing things each and every day to try to make it better. We went and got these nice rusty 12-pound dumbbells for Melissa, my wife, Gus's mother, obviously. We did this because it really makes Gus mad to not have everything exactly the same. So we threw in some nice rusty dumbbells to complement all his other Purdy dumbbells. So yeah, every once in a while we do that. We throw in a piece of gear that Gus gets mad at because he doesn't like it because it doesn't fit in. So, well, I hope you enjoy our gym tour. As we progress and as it gets bigger and bigger, we hope that you'll join us some more. You'll continue to join Gus on his journey. Each and every day we get stronger. Each and every day we get bigger. And each and every day we get better. It's sometimes not about the end product. It's about the journey on how to get there. Thanks for joining Beast Alaska and our video. It's like, if you like what you see, click like and subscribe at the bottom.
Go out and compete with your potential.